Hey there, Mount Sac. This is Kate Lawson. Just a little welcome video here to welcome you to our class. I'm so excited to be spending this quarter with you. So today we're just going to go through a few of the parameters of the course, get you orientated with Canvas and kind of the course setup and what we're going to do. But I first want to very much welcome you. I'm really excited to have you. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in the classroom over a decade now. I got my start at Mount Sac, which is really exciting. I started teaching there when I was 25 years old. So that was really cool. And then I also taught at Chaffee and I taught at San Bernardino Valley, but I've actually been at Mount Sac the longest, where I think I started in 2008 there officially as an adjunct. And so, you know, my journey as a sociology instructor has been a long one. I was adjunct where I taught at 3 different schools down in California. And then in 2005, I moved up to Washington State, to the Seattle area. I live in a town called Renton. We're about 13 miles outside of Seattle. And I really, really love it up here. We just moved because we wanted just maybe a little slower pace of life, and the cost of living in Cali is so expensive. So we moved up here, and it ended up working out really well because I ended up getting a full-time job at a college up here called Green River College. So I am actually teaching you from Washington State, but because of technology, it's all the same. And I am just as available to you as I am to my Green River students. So I teach at Mount Sac. I also teach at Green River, where I'm a full-time tenured faculty member. But, you know, Mount Sac really has a special place in my heart because that's where I started. And believe it or not, you know, the demographics are different than they are up here. And I really appreciate working, you know, with you. So, a little bit more about my background. I went to Cal Poly for my undergrad, and I went to Cal State Fullerton. I do have an emphasis in criminology, so this is where I have spent most of my time and studying and research and things like that. While I was a graduate student, I did a research study on prison sexual assault, and I got the opportunity to work at various parole offices interviewing the previously incarcerated on their sexual assault in prison. And that research went into something called PREA, the Prison Rape Elimination Act. And so that research was used to inform this act, because the whole idea was to, you know, before we try to curb sexual assault in prison, we should know what's going on. Right. And what's kind of interesting too is what we found was there was a lot of gray area in that. It wasn't what you always think about if you've seen Shawshank Redemption and the prison rape scene in the shower. You know, there's this whole don't drop the soap thing, which, you know, it's really awful that we do that as a culture. But what I found was that, you know, there was a lot of gray area, meaning someone might submit to being sexually assaulted as a form of protection. Like, hey, this one person will take care of me, and then I don't have to worry about being victimized by many other people. But of course, if you know consent, there can't be any coercion, and that's, you know, that is not someone openly consenting. So there was a lot of gray area, you know, around this, or people, you know, exchanging goods and things like that. But again, when your basic needs are not being met, you can't do that, right? Because you're being, you know, manipulated. So anyways, I did that for a year, and then I also interned at Ontario Parole down there in Cali. So I did get to work with people who had been just released out of prison, and I really appreciated that experience. But I ended up in the classroom. I wasn't sure which avenue I would end up, but I ended up in the classroom, which is fine. I love it. And I really love sharing with you these theories around crime or explanations of crime. They're fascinating. They really are. And many of you have probably already thought about them. But I won't talk too much about that now because, you know, that's what the course is about. So the expectations for the course, you will need to set aside around 3 to 4 hours a week. Some weeks will be a little bit heavier, some weeks will be a little bit lighter. So take that into consideration, but that's about the average. The course is set up on Canvas using modules. So each week You'll have, it's pretty clearly designed, I think, where you know exactly what each week there will be an audio lecture, a short quiz, an assignment, and that's all you'll do for the week. So there's this module, it's weekly, it's all very nicely defined on Canvas. And so you should have a good expectation of what you need to do for the week. I will also be sending out an email on Monday or an announcement on Monday. So make sure you're checking your announcements on Canvas, just again, reminding you of what you need to do for that week. So I have my little list here. I need to make sure I get it. Just a few other things. The information for the book is also there for you. I have uploaded the first 2 chapters of the book so that you have it for those of you who are waiting to get a copy. I know sometimes it takes a week or 2. I do allow you to use an older edition of the book. If you are doing that, make sure you are going by chapter name and not chapter number, right? So if we're looking at biological theories, that might be chapter 5 in the old book. And truthfully, there's only 1 chapter that is moved around. So, but I know you guys like to save money. Everybody does. This course is entirely asynchronous, which means I will not require you to be online with me like for a lecture. Some of that is because you guys have different schedules, and I could never probably find one that would work for everybody. But I also have a child that is here a lot of the time. She actually just went back to school last week. She's only going 2 hours a day, which is really interesting. And so she comes home at 11 a.m. And so doesn't give me a lot of time to have that one-on-one. With that, I do offer office hours every single week. So if there is any, if you're having any issue with an assignment or a concept, or you need a little bit more, absolutely, this is the time where we have that one-on-one interaction with each other. And so just keep that in mind, that the office hours are there. Just FYI, I use the same Zoom code, so I'm not going to send you, hey, here's the Zoom information every week. It's always going to be the same. So you'll just find that old Zoom information and use it. And usually I'm going to do I try to do office hours on Thursday so that you've had some time to like look over the assignment and get a, sense of what's going on. And then you can ask questions as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Once you get on Canvas, I just say, try to peruse through the assignments, get an idea. The course is all set up right now. There are a few weeks you have videos. This quarter, we're going to be watching, it's not a new video, actually. It's from 2011, but it's called Hot Coffee, and it's so interesting. We're going to be looking at that towards the beginning of the course. And all of the videos have been uploaded onto Canvas for you, or the link is there, so you shouldn't need to go purchase it or anything else like that. So peruse through the assignments. In an online course, you really need to be self-motivated. And, with me teaching online this year fully, I've never been 100% online like I have this year. And the way I do it is I just get up every morning and I go to work, right? I come and sit down and I'm here for 8 hours. And then at like around 4 o'clock, I'm like, day is over, and I don't go back online. So just so you know, normally I'm online most of the day. Sometimes I will take a break here and there, but if you're emailing me, you'll see I'll shoot you your email right back. Usually after 4, I've clocked out, let's say. Not literally, but I'm done. So I'm not answering emails after 4, and then I'll answer them first thing in the morning, right? I also take weekends off, right? Because no one should have to work 7 days a week. So if you send me an email on Saturday or Sunday, I will respond Monday. So this is why it's really important that if you have questions, that you get them into me by Friday morning, not Friday at 4 o'clock, because I'm probably already clocked out at that point. So keep that in mind, right? But again, stay self-motivated, but also take care of yourself during this time. The pandemic and everything else has been very challenging for everyone's mental health. I'm really in this boat where I'm like, first of all, if something's going on with your mental health, you're having a hard time, just come talk to me. I promise you, I have had those feelings as well. We don't talk about mental health like we should, but I have had those days where I'm like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. If you are going through a challenging time, or there's illness or something going on in your family due to COVID or whatever, just reach out to me. Just be transparent. I promise you, I'm not going to be punitive with you until this is over. I'm being pretty forgiving. With that, I mean, I still want you doing your work every week and everything else, but if something is, you know, actively impacting your success in the class, you really need to come to me. Don't, you know, come to me at the end of the quarter saying, oh my gosh, my life was awful this quarter. I didn't turn anything. What can I do? You know, you can't make up a whole class in a week. So it's important that you're staying on track, but if you get a little bit off track, I'm just going to say, jump back on the train. I got your back, you know, and reach out, right? Reach out if something's going on. I did put a mental health resource guide on Canvas, so kind of peruse through that, but practice, you know, your self-care. Make sure you're getting outside, enjoying some sunshine every once in a while. I think this is really important. Go on a walk, you know, get out of your desk chair or whatever, wherever you're working from. Oh, and by the way, you know, when it comes to Zooming and stuff like that, I prefer you have your camera on, because if not, I'm talking to a blank screen. But I do understand that that is not always feasible for everybody. So no worries around that. And if you need to Zoom me from bed because that's the only room that you have, I don't care. That's fine. I'm a real person. I won't Zoom you from bed, okay? Because I get paid. But you can Zoom me from bed because I am here to serve you, okay? It's a wonderful time to be taking this class, by the way. I hope you know. So, yeah, I think we got through most of what I wanted to talk about. Lastly, I just wanted to mention plagiarism. We do use plagiarism software here at Mount SAC. It's, you know, it's something that what it looks like for me is it says 70% of your paper is not your original work. And then what I do is I go in and make sure, well, you know, sometimes it will say 30%, and then I go and I'm like, well, this student quoted everything perfectly, so it's not really plagiarized. So I do go in and I look through it, but I just want to be clear that there's really a zero tolerance policy when it comes to plagiarism, especially when it's super overt, right? If I see that you bought a paper online or you submitted something from a previous student or something like that, you will receive a 0 for the course. And so I just ask that you have integrity. I've already told you, if stuff's happening, just come and talk to me. You know, I would rather you turn in a crappy paper than someone else's paper. Okay? Because you know, at least it's honest. I think that's about it. So anyways, I don't want to spend too much time with this video because it's hard, right? To sit and listen to someone else. But again, I just want to welcome you. I'm so excited to have you in this class. I'm so glad you are continuing on with your education. Absolutely reach out to me if there's any way that I can help you or clarify anything. And again, those office hours are there, you know, to ask anything, right? Questions. How do you do this assignment? Sometimes students just like me to walk them through it. Because that, you know, that's kind of what we would be doing in class. And then they're like, oh, okay, I get all of this. I just needed you to say it. I totally get it because that's the way I am too. So, you know, use those office hours. If you read through the prompt and you're like, I have no idea, come and talk to me. That's totally understandable, right? So anyways, again, wishing you the best this quarter. Reach out if you need anything, and just know I have your back 100%. So excited to have you, to you know, share with you what I love. Okay, well, take care, Mounties, and you will see me soon.